How's it going, everyone? Today I'll be using this Wasp leadership deck to take on the Klaw scenario on heroic difficulty, part of my channel goal of trying to beat every scenario in the game on heroic using a different hero. I have posted a game against Klaw already, however this was with Captain Marvel. For one thing, I made some rules errors in that game that I would like to remedy, but also I used up Captain Marvel in the Hood scenario, which I recently posted, so I've got to fill in somebody else against the Klaw scenario. And Wasp is someone who I haven't played yet, and so hopefully we'll get a chance to notch that win today. The deck I'm playing is Leadership Ally Recursion deck, basically as close to the default as you can get. I mean, Wasp herself doesn't have too many interesting deck building hooks, but also like this is a matchup where I really want to be able to stun and confuse Klaw pretty regularly, and so Leadership is just a good powerful aspect to tap into. I've played pretty few just like pure straight up lead ally recursion decks in Leadership on the channel. Usually there's like an Avengers team or a X-Men team thing going on, or like a sidekick deck, but I do apologize that this is kind of the default recursion strategy. The wrinkles that I have put in it, so Go All Out is a card that's really nice with Wasp. So when we flip to Giant form, she's got I always screw up which way this opens. She's got 2 thwart, 2 attack, and 3 defense. So Go All Out lets us exhaust to do 7 damage to an enemy. So since we're exhausting, we kind of have to subtract the value we could have gotten from attacking anyways. So we should really view it as 3 ER to do 5 damage rather than 7 because of the cost of exhausting. But that's still a pretty fair rate, and against the Klaw scenario, we've got these 5, 6, 7 health Masters of Evil minions, so extra big attacks like Go All Out are pretty decent there. We're also a little bit built around basic cards. We've got, the only payoff for this is 2 copies of the Power in All of Us, but I've slightly biased my allies towards the basic allies. Of course, with Hope being a Genius traded character, we get to play Ingenuity and Moon Girl, which are both very powerful basic cards which the Power in All of Us can help pay for. And then, Nick Fury, Mockingbird, Professor X, we would kind of expect these anyways, but they are basic. Spider-Man, Miles is maybe the one, basic ally that I've put in over maybe a leadership ally of equivalent strength, just because Power in All of Us can help pay for him. Stinger, just a nice staple with Avengers. White Tiger, just a nice staple as well, just really good value. Just a note on Wasp, one reason I haven't used Wasp in the challenge yet is she is one of the weakest heroes in the game, probably certainly bottom 10, I would say. She's got no positive value generating ability on her identity card. You can kind of make the case that her girl ability to reshuffle cards with printed mental resources from your discard pile into your deck, you can kind of argue that that's resource positive, like because it lets you use maybe Genius multiple times per deck pass, or Moon Girl or Professor X or Nick Fury, who are just very valuable cards. Maybe you get to play them an extra time per deck pass, but that value, it comes on a delay, so that's already enough of a downside. Like the first few turns, Nadia doesn't have any additional value to get her going in those early turns where the pressure is highest. And then even when you reshuffle stuff, like it still might take a few turns for you to draw those new cards. So that's maybe the closest we get to a value ability, but it's still not great compared to other characters who just give you straight up value turn over turn. Wasp in Giant form can divide her basic thwarts and attacks among multiple schemes or multiple enemies, but it's still only just activating for 2. Like, we should have enough granularity between our allies to do that anyways, so not adding a ton of value there. And then Tiny form is really weak overall, 1 thwart, 1 attack, and sometimes we can ping the villain for some free damage. But so no real value attached to the identity card, and then no resource generators in her identity specific set either. Now this isn't super atypical. Usually when they give heroes a resource card like the PIM particles here, they won't always give them a resource generator as well. That's an upgrade or a support. But the fact that we're lacking that is another thing that brings Wasp down, as opposed to like having some 1 or 2 cost upgrades to just get things going. We have to resort to just like the expensive basic ones: Quinn Carrier, Helicarrier. Ingenuity is pretty good, to be fair. That's pretty solid. But then Clarity of Purpose, which isn't ideal because of the damage, but it's still good enough. So we'll see how the start of the game goes. Once we can build up a few of these, we should be okay. But the start of the game can be really rough for Wasp. She's also got just some complete eggs in her identity-specific set. Red Room Training is garbage. Biosynthetic Wings is garbage. The helmet is like okay, but it's like very low tempo. I mean, if we were really built around readying more, I guess the helmet could be okay. I mean, giving +1 attack in tiny form, like, that's not worth much because we could just go to giant form and have 2 attack to begin with. So I guess it's giving us +1 thwart, and yeah, that's usable, but you know, it's far from like just a super soldier serum or a you know, solar gem. Like just a straight up resource generator card would be much better for Wasp. And then rapid growth is kind of weak as well. You know, 2 ER to add 2 to a basic power. Giant help is a little bit inefficient of a thwart. Pinpoint strike and Wasp sting are honestly pretty decent attacks. So that's what we can kind of hang our hat on here, and that lines up against Klaw well because of the high health minions. But yeah, Klaw is just not particularly interesting. But I think I've done the interesting things I can with Go All Out and the Genius payoff cards. And just because of the nature of my challenge, I'm trying to use every hero against a unique scenario. So we've got to notch wins with heroes that we wouldn't normally choose to pick from a power level perspective. But that becomes a fun challenge in and of itself. Klaw isn't terribly difficult, so we'll see if Wasp can get it done today, especially wielding, you know, one of the classically strongest archetypes of leadership, Make the Call recursion. Alrighty, that's our look at the deck. I'm not going to do a Klaw breakdown. I did do that in the Captain Marvel scenario. If you really want to, or the Captain Marvel versus Klaw video, if you really want to see my thoughts on Klaw. It's also just a core set scenario, so I feel like people generally know what's up with the Klaw scenario. I am just playing the recommended Masters of Evil modular set. In the Captain Marvel video, I changed it up, but Masters of Evil isn't terribly hard, and just don't want to put myself too far behind with picking a more interesting but potentially more difficult mod set. So with that, let's dive into the game. Wasp versus Klaw on heroic difficulty. Starting off here, we revealed the Defense Network side scheme. I've skipped ahead and done Claws when revealed of getting the Immortal Klaw, because it doesn't really matter whether we do that now or wait till the proper time. But the next thing to do here is discard from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded and put it into play engaged with us. That's the one revealed on the main scheme. So we'll shuffle up here and do that. So Klaw's got 28 hit points, 18 naturally, plus 10 from the Immortal Klaw. All right, let's look for a minion. Oh, what a... Okay, holy cow. This is about as good a start as you can ask for. 1 advance gone, and Under Fire is out of the way. And then our minion is the weakest possible one, Weapons Runner. So since we drew a pretty small minion, Wasp can kill that minion just by herself, and not even terrible to leave in play. So that makes us prioritize thwarting cards a little bit more, like a Giant Help. Professor X, obviously, we would have played anyways, regardless of what that minion was, most likely. Well, I guess that's not necessarily true. We might have prioritized a way to kill a big Master of Evil minion. All right, opening hand. Okay. No double resources. So Red Room Training is definitely a mulligan. I think Command Team is definitely a mulligan. Given that we've got a slow start, Quinn Carrier would actually be potentially nice to set up. Spider-Man and White Tiger are both just good value. I'm not sure I can really have the luxury of spending this many resources on a Quinn carrier right away. Yeah, let's mulligan 4. Try to get some doubles primarily is what I'm looking for. Ingenuity would also be good. Only one resource better than Quinn carrier, but that's a big difference. Yeah, let's mulligan 4. Okay, we got one double. Let's spend 3, including make the call for White Tiger. After we play her from hand, draw cards equal to the villain stage, so that'll be 2 cards. So I wanted to play this now, because now I can reshuffle and make the call potentially. I don't love a reshuffle just because there's other good cards I'd rather see quicker, like Professor X, Ingenuity, doubles. Yeah, okay, I'm probably not going to girl. And didn't draw the ability to do anything besides Spider-Man. I could do Helicarrier plus Rapid Growth. Probably worse than just Spider-Man. So I could do Spider-Man and keep 1 card in hand. Maybe keep Helicarrier if anything. Let's gives me something to use Power in All of Us on. Yeah, I'll keep Helicarrier in hand. So let's pay 3 for Spider-Man. We will give him +2 thwart. White Tiger will take out Weapons Runner. Spider-Man will take out the Immortal Klaw. Drop 10 hit points from Klaw. Now, it is not the craziest thing to stay in Alter Ego. We've already seen 1 advance, so it would be pretty hard to pop the main scheme. We'd need to draw either a triple boost right away or that other advance. But if I flip, I get to thwart Defense Network. Let's just flip. Flip to Giant Form. Thwart Defense Network for 2. And end the turn. Yeah, I'll still just keep Helicarrier, I think. Okay, pretty poor hand. Hopefully I get like a big minion to attack. That would make the hand go to good use. 1 threat on the main scheme. Klaw attacks. I'm at full, but I think I just have White Tiger block. There's more likely to be turns where I'm at full ally slots. I'll block with White Tiger. 1 + 2 boost cards. Wow, and even the second advance gone. Okay, so White Tiger will only take 2. That is what it is. 2 encounter cards. Whirlwind, hey, nice. Kind of what I was calling for. Then Klaw's Vengeance. Klaw attacks you if this deals damage. Place 1 threat on the main scheme. Yeah, so this one I'm just going to take. Pretty easy decision there. 1 + 2 + exhaust each ally you control. So that is 3 total damage. Hits me for 3, down to 8. And since it dealt damage, 1 threat on the main scheme. But, I mean, holy cow, we got both advances out of there already. All right, we'll spend 3 for Helicarrier. Then we will Helicarrier plus an energy for Go All Out. Exhaust your hero, deal damage to an enemy equal to the total of your hero's thwart, attack, and defense. So that is 7. So we'll deal 7 damage to Whirlwind. And now the flip down isn't totally safe because Klaw could hit 2 boost icons to advance. Spider-Man's not ready to block quite yet. He could in an emergency. I think we'll just stay in hero form right now. Keep using our health as a resource. Better tempo than potentially getting a minion. All right, fantastic turn incoming. So let's just hope this one isn't too bad. 1 threat on the main scheme. Klaw attacks. I could consider just defending this. I'm going to defend it. Just because our defense is equal to our recover, so I've also got to face the past, and I think defending is arguably stronger than thwarting or attacking. So we'll defend this attack for 1, plus discard 1 card at random from hand, plus 2. So it comes in for 3, we defend all of it, discard 1 to 5 left to right. We got a 4, so that's going to be Stinger. I think Face the Past would have been the saddest one to discard. 2 encounter cards. Sonic Boom. Alright, this is the Nightmare ruling where I cannot do either one fully, and I was hoping just to not have to deal with this. Either spend 1 of each resource or exhaust each character you control. And the rule says to do the one that you can resolve most fully. So I'm going to say that I can do 2/3 of the resource one as opposed to exhausting half of my characters. So I will discard Nick and Face the Past. Solid sound body, totally fine there. That's yep, Klaw gains Retaliate 1. Well, fortunately we had our really good hand stripped away from us. I will play Clarity of Purpose. But that'll be it. Let's maybe stay in hero form one more time. Man, I don't know. Even if I get a minion out from here, it's not so bad. I could keep the Wasp Sting in hand. I get to do a reshuffle. Or a girl. Otherwise, I just have Spider-Man attack this. Not attack, thwart this. Blocks Klaw's attack. Still got both Assault and Gang Up, could be extra attacks. I'm going to go to Alter Ego form. Let's reshuffle probably Nick and maybe just Nick. Make the call is another potential option, but don't have anyone to make the call right now. Queen Carrier is another potential option. Sure, let's hit Queen Carrier as well. Girl in, Queen Carrier, and Nick. And then do I keep the Wasp Sting? I've got 2 other Wasp Sting and all 3 Pinpoint Strikes still in deck, so I can handle the big minion. Wasp Sting helps me handle a small minion pretty well. I'm going to discard Wasp Sting. And end the turn. Okay, pretty good looking hand. Powering all of us for Mockingbird. 1 threat on the main scheme in step 1. Klaw schemes for 2 plus a boost of 1, advances. Discard until we get a minion. We got the Shark. Shark will scheme for 1. 2 encounter cards. Gang Up Surges. Caught Off Guard hits Clarity of Purpose. It's just cheaper to replace. Masters of Mayhem. Each Masters of Evil minion attacks the hero it is engaged with. We are not a hero. So if no attacks were made, we search up a Masters of Evil minion and put it into play engaged with us. So we will go get Melter. Oops, I guess we discarded Melter already. We could maybe think for a second about Whirlwind as well. Just because Whirlwind's attack isn't as bad, so if I'm not going to clear him either way, I should just get Whirlwind. But I'm going to be able to Wasp, Sting, plus attack one of them. Could maybe clear, call for backup to get Nick, keep things rolling. That contradicts playing Mockingbird. We could call for backup Ant-Man. So Mockingbird, thwart, call for backup. It's an inefficient resource turn if I get anyone but Nick. If I just play Mockingbird and Wasp Sting, that is not enough to take out either one. Well, I actually probably... No, I don't think Go All Out's any different. Go All Out takes out 1, but then I've only got 3 damage for the other. What could Nick draw me that I would like? All right, I'm actually thinking it's Whirlwind because I don't think I'm going to clear 2 minions. So let's just get Whirlwind. Unless I do decide to call for backup Nick. But it's the classic Nick Mockingbird awkwardness. Okay, I think it's just going to be Mockingbird and then one of the attack cards. Yeah. All right, let's think about Girl. I'm interested in getting Clarity of Purpose back, actually. All 3 make the calls are in the discard now, so I could give myself the option to make the call Mockingbird at some point. Wasp Sting just helps me deal with the remaining one next turn. Got enough playable allies in the deck still. Let's get Clarity of Purpose and Wasp Sting. With Girl. Flip to Giant form. Does this matter? Yeah, I want to be in Giant form for next turn as well. Helicarrier, Power, Mockingbird, Stun Claw. Let's keep I could just keep Go All Out in hand as my way to kill Whirlwind next turn. Guaranteed. Call for Backup's also just a strong card. But I should be flipping down next turn, so maybe not that strong for next turn. Got all my pinpoint strikes in the deck still. I don't think I'll keep anything. So let's just Wasp Sting, Tiger Shark for 4. Wasp attacks Tiger Shark for 2. Mockingbird thwarts defense network. And I think I will have Spider-Man attack Whirlwind for 2. I mean, makes him not waste that hit point if he has to block. And pinpoint strike wouldn't be my preferred way to take out Whirlwind. Okay, and end the turn. So still I would say coming back from our setup pressure. Haven't stabilized yet. But things aren't too dire. One threat on the main scheme. Klaw stunned, Whirlwind attacks for 2, which I'll just take, down to 6. When Whirlwind attacks you, also resolve his attack against each other hero. So obviously not relevant here in solo. 2 encounter cards. Assault. Let's have Miles block this one. Coming in for 1, +2, plus if this activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero. So it will not because Miles blocked. But he takes the 3 from the attack. Second card, another assault. And could theoretically kill me. I don't need my activation to be able to kill Whirlwind. So let's just defend. So it comes in for 1, +3, +2. Yeah, good thing I defended that. Is 6 damage on the attack coming in. Reduce it by 3. I'll take 3 down to 3. All right. So I'm conceding to a triple boost card on Klaw's scheme, but the flip down is going to be really important here. So let's Helicarrier +3 for Ant-Man. Currently gets +1 attack since we're in giant form. These 2 will attack to clear Whirlwind for 4 damage. And then we'll Honorary Avenger Ant-Man. Flip down. I don't actually love Girl, because I'm set up to draw Moon Girl and or Ingenuity. Those are really good draws. And Nick. It's too bad I haven't gotten Genius yet. That's like the best Girl target. I'm actually not gonna Girl. I want to draw Moon Girl and Genius. Possibly shouldn't have done it last turn either. Oh, we haven't drawn Pim Particles either. All right, check for 3 boosts for the loss. Nope. Okay, so 1 threat on the main scheme. Klaw schemes for 3, up to 6 out of 8. 2 encounter cards. Shadow of the Past. We got Beetle. We got Mother's Orders. Shuffling in a couple cards that make Beetle attack, else Surge. Card that gives attached character +4 hit points. Beetle's pretty small, 1 scheme, 1 attack, 4 health, guard. When Beetle is defeated, either spend a physical resource or shuffle her back into the encounter deck. The side scheme only comes in with 2 threat, which is really good. As an additional cost, for each hero to make a basic attack, we must spend 1 of any resource. Also not bad. Last card, Masters of Mayhem. So same one as before. A little more inclined to get Melter this time, since I'm guessing we have the hand to deal with it. Let's just get Melter. Okay. Almost at a reshuffle of the deck, so I won't have the luxury to play around or assume that we won't get advanced anymore. All right. So it's like we drew every good card at the same turn now. So do I have the luxury of recovering is the first question. Well, there's a lot of questions. Mother's Orders is no rush to clear at all. Ant-Man plus one of these allies kills Melter. Beetle's not really a rush to kill. I'd like to take an opportunity to play Ingenuity. So I could... all right, I think I'm not going to do Nick. Let's Helicarrier plus Nick for Ingenuity. Oh no, okay. I see the problem. Take that back. I was trying to get the value from Pim Particles, but then I can't play Moon Girl if I swap out of this form. Six cards in deck, including all 3 pinpoint strikes, which does not bode well for next turn. So I should shuffle in some usable stuff. Like actually Giant Help's probably a good reshuffle. Or make the call. Yeah. Ideally, we'd have drawn basically all 4 of these cards on different turns, because it would have been the best thing to play on most turns of our game. But we've unfortunately drawn them all here. Okay, what about pay these 4 for Nick? But Nick plus Professor X is always awkward, because if he doesn't attack again, we waste a block. If I do Nick, well, no. Okay, we do these 3 for Moon Girl. She replaces herself. I like just starting with that and going from there. Probably playing Professor X. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Going to spend the 3 mentals right here for Moon Girl. Oh, and my ally slots are full. Let's think about that again. Part of me would like Professor X to be the only ally. I don't want to waste value by discarding an ally. Could pay 2 for Ingenuity. 1, 2. No. Sorry, this is a long thinker. We might draw a double though. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. One of them is a Pim Particles. One of them is Genius. So maybe I do just play Nick. One. Okay. Let's recover for 3. No, okay, take that back. No, I'll just do it. A whole lot of sequencing stuff. If I play, because I want to play Nick in alter ego form so that I can reshuffle some of these with Girl. But then I also wanted to spend Pim Particles to play Nick. This is a hard one. I'm looking at clearing Melter, thwarting the main scheme a little bit, not clearing Beetle. Alright, I want to play Nick and Alter Ego. So I can keep Pim Particles plus 1 other card. Man, is Nick even better than Moon Girl though? No, right? Alright. I'm just doing this. Pay these 3 mentals. No. Maybe keep Ingenuity. Either keep Ingenuity or Wasp Sting. But I'm going to draw a pinpoint strike, so let's keep Ingenuity. Let's keep Ingenuity. Alright, pay these 3 mentals for Moon Girl. Draw 3. Sorry that was such a long wait. We drew Genius, so do I want to reshuffle that? Yeah, let's pay these 2 for Ingenuity. Let's Girl 3 cards in deck. Let's Girl Genius and Probably Professor X. Yep. Genius and Professor X. Let's go to giant form. Pay 1, 2 plus Pim particles for Quinn Carrier. Spending Pim particles in giant form, we heal 2. Yeah, we still got 2 Pinpoint Strike in the deck, so I'm not going to keep that Pinpoint Strike. Ant-Man and Moon Girl attack Melter for a total of 5. Didn't end up thwarting the main scheme at all, but don't think there's a way to put exactly 1 on. We've seen 1 Klaw's Vengeance, 2 Klaw's Vengeance. I think there's only 2 of those. Obviously saw both advances. So I think we should be okay on the main scheme. All right, let's discard Pinpoint Strike, end of turn. All right, draw 5, which is the whole deck. Get an encounter card. So close to turning things around. Pinpoint Strike's not going to be very good this turn, though. I guess it'll kill Beetle. Klaw attacks. Mockingbird defends. 1 plus 2 plus 1. Takes out Mockingbird. Beetle attacks for 1, just take it, down to 7. 2 more encounter cards. Beetle Mania. Beetle attacks with +1 attack. She'll attack for 2, I'll just take it, down to 5. Exhaustion. Surges into Beetle Mania. Yeah, I think this is discarded before we surge. It's obviously worse for me if that's true as well, so I'll say that's good. Acceleration on the main scheme. Beetle's going to attack for 2 more. This is close to me wanting to block. Oh, I should know what that last card is. In theory, I could have known from the discard pile. I know we saw every Beetle card. We know it's not another Klaw activation. But I might need Moon Girl to help me survive the main scheme. I'll just take that 2 from Beetle down to 3. Weapons runner. Oh, it is going to surge. Okay, into a Tiger Shark. All right. Could have lost there to any number of things. Well, basically advance. And okay, that gives a really good target for Pinpoint Strike, I guess. And just an overabundance of resources, unfortunately. Oh, I guess 1 extra, it's not that bad. Spend 3, including Pim particles for Professor X. Confuse Klaw, recovered for 2. 3 resources. What am I doing? 3 resources to pinpoint strike Tiger Shark. Professor X thwarts the main scheme for 3. Ant-Man takes out Weapons Runner. I will just stay in hero form this turn. And I don't need Moon Girl to do anything immediately, so she'll be ready to block if needed. How much do I play around Sonic Boom? I think we're fine. We got some resource generators out. And let's discard Pinpoint Strike end of turn. This is really showcasing why Wasp is one of the worst heroes. She's got the best resource generators we can play with her are all very expensive. She doesn't have any of her own. No additional turn-over-turn value. Just makes it hard to reach that point where we're outvaluing Klaw. So it's been a long time coming. 2 threat on the main scheme. Klaw attacks, Professor X blocks. 1 + 3 + 1. Very effective block. Beetle attacks for 1, just gonna take it. It's only 1. 2 encounter cards. Master Plan puts 4 more threat on Mother's Orders. I think that might be totally fine, because that's a pretty ignorable card, to be honest. Second card, Armored Guard, is also totally fine. All right, this could be it here. This is that was an incredibly mild turn. All right, Mockingbird looks like an excellent make the call target. We've also got Wasp, Sting to deal with some guys. Fairly safe flip down as well. All right, so make the call, spending 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this works out. Okay. Make the call, spending 3 for Mockingbird. Stun, Klaw. I think we just got a thwart for 2 with Wasp. Oh, sorry. Before I do that, I'll Helicarrier myself, then I go to thwart for 2, and I will Rapid Growth. When you use one of your hero's basic powers, change to your giant hero form and get +2 for that power. So it's not a cost to change, so we don't flip, we just stay in giant form, but we do get +2 there. So I'll thwart an extra 2, which should keep me safe from an advance. I would have to advance into a triple boost to lose as I flip down. Pay 2 to Wasp Sting. We're in giant form, so it's just 4 damage divided among enemies as you choose. We'll just take out Beetle and reshuffle her. I was assuming Mockingbird would hit the tough off of Armored Guard, but I could actually just thwart for 1 just to be ultra safe there. because I would literally need to advance into a triple boost. We've already seen Under Fire as a triple boost. The Sonic Converters, or this thing is a triple boost, that's still attached. So, I mean, it's super unlikely. But Tough's pretty annoying to deal with. But we could just do it next turn. Let's just thwart for 1 on the main scheme. Flip to Alter Ego form. We'll Girl Genius and make the call. Because now that we've got a Professor X, you know, girling make the call is just the same as girling Professor X. Or it's at least as high of a floor, but could be other people we want to make the call instead. And the turn. Okay, great flexible hand upcoming. Maybe could have used a double, but all right, 2 threat on the main scheme. Klaw Confused, Armored Guard schemes for 0. 2 encounter cards. Ooh, look at that, advance, triple boost. No, 2 plus if this activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero. So we wouldn't have lost to the triple boost there since we did thwart for 1, but would have been pretty validating if we saw that. So we were at 2, scheme added 2, we're up to 4. Klaw's Vengeance, discard 1 card at random from your hand. Okay, totally fine. 1 through 6, left to right. 1 is Nick. Probably would have been the... No, we've got make the call anyways, so literally doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, great looking turn. All right. It is going to be Professor X is going to be the make the call target, though. Pretty clearly. Let's think about Girl. Let's get this other make the call back. And let's just get Nick back too, sure. Or maybe Wasp Sting. Now let's just get Nick. Girl, make the call in Nick. Recover for 3. Consult the resource situation. All right, so Tiny Form would actually be kind of nice in order to draw an extra card with Pim Particles. That would let me make the call Professor X, Stinger, and play an additional 2-cost card. Yeah, let's do it. Flip to Tiny Form. Make the call, spending Pim Particles, Quinn Carrier, and Ingenuity for Professor X. Go back in time 1 brief moment to activate Moon Girl. Oh, I guess I should have activated Moon Girl and then reshuffled her with Girl. Moon Girl is going to... Ooh, how am I clearing Armored Guard? All right, sorry, yeah, Mockingbird, okay. Mockingbird will attack Armored Guard for 1. Moon Girl will attack Armored Guard for 2. Then we make the call Professor X. Confusing Klaw. And drawing a card from Pim Particles. Oh, Face the Past. Interesting. Is that good? My Ready activation isn't very strong right now. I don't have an immediate way in hand to deal with Beetle. I could actually... I could skip a 2-cost card to clear Solid Sound Body, but I think I'm still so far from attacking Klaw. And Command Team's going to get a lot of value. Yeah, that's not even close. Well, Helicarrier, a Stinger. Stinger is going to attack for 1 to finish off Armored Guard. I think I'm just not going to face the past. I'm not guaranteed to have an efficient use of all those cards that I draw. Not guaranteed to take out Beetle, so we'll just pay 2 for Command Team. Obviously better than Giant Help because it gives me 3 additional thwarting this turn right away, same as Giant Help would do, but it sticks around and we'll get more value later. So we'll thwart the main scheme for 3. Ready with Command Team. And thwart Mother's Orders for 3, which, like I said, might not really be worth it, but I think that's better than just thwarting the main scheme for 1. End the turn. Okay, nice Nick turn upcoming. 2 threat on the main scheme up to 3. Klaw is stunned, which I've only just now considered as slightly awkward with Professor X, but that confusion is so valuable. 2 encounter cards. Red Dreams. Let's see how many mentals we have in hand. Oh, way too many. Let's flip to Alter Ego and Exhaust to remove that from the game. Sound Manipulation. In Alter Ego, Klaw heals 4 damage. He's at full, so if no damage was healed this way, this gains Surge. That would have been really nice to tag him for 1 somewhere. Wasp didn't actually defeat Armored Guard, so I couldn't deal 1 to Klaw with her ability. Yeah, is what it is. Surges into Masters of Mayhem. I think we'll probably get the usual. Let's go get Melter. Then back to us. Professor X is discarded. And I didn't say it when I played her, but yeah, Stinger doesn't count against the ally limit. All right, so we will pay Power in All of Us and Genius for Nick Fury. Draw 3 cards. Girl, Genius, and maybe Moon Girl. Yeah. Genius and Moon Girl. I don't really have another good make the call target. I could just sacrifice Mockingbird and make the call again, but then we lose the Nick value again. I should have put 1 more good make the call target in this deck, like Squirrel Girl or Maria. Probably better than Miles, to be honest, even though Miles gets to use the Power in All of Us. right, and then regarding the form, tiny form makes some sense since I'm just going to be pinpoint striking and discarding solid sound body. Yeah, let's go to tiny form. Going to be one resource left over, so I could keep one card in hand. Let's just keep Make the Call in hand. But we're going to Helicarrier, Mental, for Pinpoint Strike, 7 damage to an enemy. If you're in tiny form, it deals 1 additional damage and gains Overkill. So we'll deal 8 Overkill to Melter. So 3 Overkills directly, and then Wasp's ability will deal 1 more to the villain. Then we'll go Mental, Physical, Energy to discard solid sound body. And what do we like for Nick now? I kind of like leaving this in play until the literal last moment. It soaks up a master plan if we draw that. So Nick will certainly thwart for 2 on the main scheme. I could even save a command team here, which sounds kind of silly. Yeah, let's actually save the command team for when we need a bigger burst of value to deal with anything. All right, end the turn. Okay, nice hand upcoming, assuming I can flip to Alter Ego form to play Moongrow. 2 threat on the main scheme up to 3. Klaw attacks, Nick blocks. 1+1+1. 2 encounter cards. Shadow of the Past. So nothing is set aside anymore, so nothing happens and this just surges. You'd think I'd have this memorized by now. Reveal your set-aside Nemesis minion, reveal your set-aside Nemesis side scheme. And yeah, obviously it surges, but yeah, I don't think we redraw them. So Surge into Sonic Converter. After Klaw attacks and damages a character, stun that character. Caught off guard. Okay, so I could Caught off guard command team. Kind of the default choice. Honorary Avenger would take out Ant-Man if Ant-Man loses that hit point. Yeah, I'd probably command team actually. I think it's niche enough. All right. But yeah, still doing great here. Okay. I actually think So I've got these for Moongirl once I flip down. Can I discard Sonic Converter while I'm here? Don't really need to discard. I should have blockers the rest of the game. Okay. Thinking about using up Ant-Man. My fallback is to make the call for either Mockingbird or Ant-Man after I flip down. If If I want to make the call Ant-Man, I should activate him now while he's got a +1 thwart. Probably doesn't matter that much. If I play... Okay, I guess I play Wasp's Helmet right now. Yeah, let's pay 2 for Wasp's Helmet. So now I do have 2 thwart in case I wanted to thwart. I think I'm still going to recover. In which case, there was absolutely no reason to play that. Okay, yeah, let's just flip down. I don't think there's anything I need to do in hero form. Although I will... Okay, I will actually pay 2 for the helmet, and then I'll girl to get Genius back, and I don't want to draw Nick this turn, but he'd be a good draw next turn. Let's just get another make the call back. Make the call, Genius. All right, Ingenuity plus Power in All of Us for Moon Girl. Draw 3. Could play out Red Room Training as caught off guard fodder, except we already drew it. Piercing is not nothing because of the Armored Guards. But I should probably just either make the call, Mockingbird, or Ant-Man, or play Miles. Recover for 3. It would be nice to keep the other make the call in hand. So that would take out doing Ant-Man. Oh, and Helicarrier won't... Oh no, sorry. I have plenty of resources. All right, Mockingbird. I think I like Mockingbird for that stun value. Mockingbird thwarts for 1, Moon Girl thwarts for 2 on the main scheme. Make the call, spending 1, 2, 3 for Mockingbird. Stun Klaw. Let's attack for 1. My first real attack of the game. How did I do that other damage? Oh, it was the overkill. Yeah, the overkill pinpoint strike. My first actual attack on Klaw of the game. But we'll keep the make the call. Yeah, we're not, because we're not drawing through the deck yet. So make the call is going to be really good next turn to make the call Professor X. Also leaving this at 3, because then Professor X answers it pretty well. Two on the main scheme, step 1. You don't even lose to an advanced triple boost right now. Klaw confused. 2 encounter cards. Masters of Mayhem. Geez, that's like the 3rd or 4th time we've drawn that. Let's get Melter, our old friend. Sonic Boom. Okay. Either exhaust a whole ton of characters or spend one of each resource. Well, let's probably spend one of each resource. Yeah, it's actually not that hard. So we'll do energy, mental, physical. Okie dokie. So let's make the call. I'm going to be pretty over on resources if I want to get Professor X. Oh no, what am I? No, it's fine, it's fine. I just don't get to girl this genius. I need to spend it in hero form to make stuff work. So for girl, don't mind getting just some attacks back now. Four cards in the deck. So I won't necessarily, if I shuffle two back, I won't draw through all of it right away. How about Nick and a Wasp sting? Flip to giant form. Helicarrier for clarity of purpose. Ant-Man. Yeah, Ant-Man just attacks Melter for 3, takes himself out. Make the call, spending a double, and clarity of purpose, taking a damage down to 9 for Professor X. Would be funny if I somehow missed the second advance already. Okay, still one advance in there, so still like Professor X, even though Klaw is stunned. Drop that confusion. Professor X thwarts Mother's orders for 3. Now Wasp can attack without having to spend a resource. Attack Melter to take him out. Giant help for, I guess, an inefficient thwart on the main scheme. Yeah, maybe Professor X wasn't right there at this point. But I'm just going to roll with it now. Oh, and actually we attack for 3. No, sorry. Oh, I had this completely messed up. Okay, in giant form, we thwart for an additional 1. In tiny form, we attack. Okay. And yeah, everyone else will sit tight. Got so many blockers now. All right, 2 threat on the main scheme. Klaw, stunned. 2 encounter cards. Beetle and Radioactive Man. Okay, I got a couple Wasp stings. Oh, and a go all out, maybe to deal with Radioactive Man. Professor X gets discarded. Can make a efficient turn without playing Nick even, but Nick's kind of just too good. I think we got to play Nick. So let's pay 4 on board, taking 1 for clarity of purpose. For Nick, let's draw 3, 1 encounter card for going through the deck. Two, 3. All right. So here is energy plus 1 more. For go all out, we will exhaust Wasp to deal 8 damage to Radioactive Man. We'll pay these 2 to Wasp Sting Beetle. Honorary Avenger. Don't really need to do it to myself. I'll do it to Stinger. Get an extra activation out of her. Nick will thwart for 2. And did I start flipped down? Oh, I've got Nick anyways. We'll just stay in hero form. No, I think I started in hero form, but got a block from Nick, so let's just stay up here. All right, some pinpoint strikes, another go all out. See if we can start to push some damage here. 2 threat on the main scheme. Klaw attacks, Nick blocks. For 2 plus 0 plus 2. Total of 3 encounter cards. The Immortal Klaw returns, giving Klaw plus 10 hit points. Defense Network returns. Those must have stuck together. And then Assault. Let's have Moon Girl block. Klaw attacks for 2. Plus put Weapons Runner into play. Plus deal 1 damage to each hero. Moon Girl is out. All right. Hefty amount of stuff to do, but nothing too threatening. Let's pay 2 for Giant Help. Remove 4 threat from among schemes. We'll clear the Immortal Klaw and hit 1 off of Defense Network. I might let myself order that a bit differently. No, that's fine. Let's just do it. Loses the 10 health that he very briefly had. I can actually, no. All right, let's pay 2, including Clarity of Purpose to make an energy for Go All Out. We'll exhaust and deal 8 damage to Klaw. Down to 5. We'll flip to Tiny Form. Spend 3 on Pinpoint Strike, Weapons Runner. And let's think about how things work here. So this deals 1 additional damage and gains overkill. So this is an 8 damage overkill attack. So 2 into Weapons Runner, 6 into Klaw, which takes out this stage. And then I'm looking at Wasp's response here, because I think that finishes. He comes in tough, and I think now the response resolves. After Wasp or an event you play defeats a minion or side scheme, deal 1 damage to the villain. So I think this comes in time for us to hit the tough off with Wasp's ability. Then he comes in on 22. And then we'll just have Mockingbird and Stinger thwart. I was exhausted. Thwart Defense Network, just so nothing gets out of hand there. And we'll end the turn. Getting a little close with the survivability, but obviously did a huge chunk of damage there, pushing closer to victory. Which we can't just ignore that forever, you know. Even me. 2 threat on the main scheme up to 4. Klaw attacks. Mockingbird blocks. Yeah, no additional abilities here except for that toughness that he came in with. 3 plus 2 plus 2. Mockingbird takes a whole lot of damage. 2 encounter cards. Armored Guard and Advance pops the Confusion. All right, time check. I'm getting a little long in the video, but I had quite a lot of room on my phone going in, so I'm going to try to stick it out. Okay, but we've got okay, well that was the second advance. If we do flip down, we're going to see this as a boost, these 2 encounter cards. If anything surges, that would be obviously obnoxious. Assault, Assault, Gang Up Arsene. So those are things that would have surged. What about Beatlemania thing? That surges. There's one of them. Okay, one of the remaining cards is Beatlemania, so I should be able to survive without flipping down. What about the one that just does 2 damage? Sound Manipulation. Ooh, I think there's one more of those left. That would make us take 2 damage. I don't have a ton of blockers. Okay, yeah, there's a Sound Manipulation left. A Beatlemania. I think I just go for damage. I've got 2 blockers if I need to. I have +1 attack currently. And actually, all right, I actually need to thwart with Spider-Man. Or I just thwart with myself, actually. I kind of wish I had a little bit more to do with this hand. I could discard Sonic Converter as a fallback. Because attacking with Wasp is the best way to clear this tough. Then I don't really get rapid growth value. This guy has guard, so I can't just do the giant trick of like 1 damage here and the rest there. I don't want to attack with Stinger. I want to keep her blockable. power in all of us, plus helicarrier. For Spider-Man, we will give +2 thwart. Wasp attacks the tough off of Armored Guard. Is it worth taking a damage here to discard Sonic Converter? I don't even think so. So yeah, really kind of underwhelming turn, but all right. Thwart the main scheme for 3. I guess I could keep the double in hand. Looking at how much damage is left in the deck. Still got, oh no, sorry. There's only 1 Wasp Sting in the deck. Oh no. No Wasp Sting, no Pinpoint Strike in the deck. Oh, that's actually not great. I'm actually not going to keep the double, I don't think. I've got kind of a few doubles in hand, or in deck still. Tons of resources on board. I really want to draw things to do. So I'm just going to pay 3 here. Or maybe I keep Rapid Growth in hand, because that represents a good chunk of damage. Just seems unlikely I'm going to be able to win next turn. I don't think I want to keep anything in hand. Pay 3 here for Pinpoint Strike on Armored Guard. 8 damage with Overkill, so 3 on the Guard, 5 onto Klaw. Down to 17. Wasp will deal an extra 1, down to 16. Can't flip down. Don't think I flipped this turn because I did Pinpoint Strike last turn. I could just flip to Giant Form now in case I need to defend. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's flip to Giant Form. And end the turn. Although, to be fair, I guess, you know what, Tiny Form, I don't even have more attack in Giant Form than I do in Tiny Form. But I defend more. Yeah, okay, this is fine. Two threat on the main scheme up to 3. Klaw attacks, Stinger blocks. Yep, 3 plus 2 plus 1. Stinger's out. All right, 1 encounter card deals us through the deck. Okay, I am going to take this opportunity to check my phone storage. It's deterministic what this card is because we've seen the whole deck, so I'm not going to reshuffle that, but since I'm reshuffling this anyways, I'm just going to check my storage. All right, I'm hopeful I have just enough storage here. And I calculated what that last card is, right? I think it's the Solid Sound, or no, that's not what it's called. The one that I take 2 damage and Klaw heals 2. All right, so indeed, Sound Manipulation, take 2 damage. Klaw heals 2 damage. Then we've got Klaw's Vengeance. Klaw attacks. And gonna need Spider-Man to block here. For 3 plus 2 plus 2. Since it dealt damage, 1 threat on the main scheme. And Solid Sound Body, Klaw gains Retaliate 1. Well, annoying for this stage in the game, but I'm not pushing too hard. Kind of need to restabilize. make the call for either Nick or... Oh, I've got to make the call. I could... Ant-Man actually doesn't look bad from hand, though. I think I need to bide my time, because I don't have any of those attack events in my deck still. Well, let's start with make the call Nick, because if I draw Professor X, I need to play him. So make the call, paying 4 for Nick. Draw 3 cards. Ooh, no Professor X, but a whole lot of resources. Yeah, we lose probably to an advance. Was that a... Oh no, I just drew the power in all of this. Okay. Yeah, I guess I make the call Mockingbird. Or... Because here's 4 that I could just pay for Ant-Man and then discard Solid Sound Body. Lets everybody attack a little easier. I'm kind of into that. All right, Clarity of Purpose, taking 1 down to 3. Plus Mental, plus whatever I didn't make with Clarity of Purpose, to discard Solid Sound Body. 4 from hand for Ant-Man, spending Pim Particles to heal 2. Wasp thwarts for 3. Ant-Man attacks for 3. So if Nick thwarts, then I don't lose to advance into single boost, but I still lose to advance into double or triple boost. Don't think I'm winning next turn either, almost certainly. So let's just thwart for 2. And end the turn. Coming down to the wire. As always, just praying not to hit in advance. But if we survive this turn, we'll have Professor X with the confusion. So hopefully that'll be the last turn we have to worry about that. 3 threat, Klaw attacks, Nick blocks. 3 plus 2 plus discard 1 card at random from your hand. 1 through 5, left to right. 5 is face the past. All right, I don't think I was gonna play that. 2 encounter cards. Beetlemania, Beetle attacks, El Surge. Advance into no boost icons. Look at that. But exhaust each ally you control. So that's going to be 3 threat on the main scheme. And then Master Plan. Into Mother's Orders. So that's the one where it costs a resource to basic attack with our hero. Oh shoot, I don't remember if I shuffled this deck after my cut. Oh well, we're way too invested now. Hopefully you trust me enough to Yeah, shoot. Well, you can hold that against me if you want. But we're back to the turn here. Oh, Nick dies from that attack, obviously. Don't think I can win. No, that's just too much to do. But I can make the call for someone that costs 3. So I could just get Spider-Man as a good attacker, or Mockingbird as a blocker, even though I've got... Actually, yeah, I'm going to do Mockingbird. Or no, actually, no. What am I talking about? I think I just do Nick again. Command Team is our last card. Could get a little bit of value. All right, make the call, spending Pim particles, and no, sorry, we can't clarity of purpose there. It's 2 from hand, 2 on board. Oh, I bet I missed make the call. I bet I helicarried on a miss on a make the call somewhere in there. Well, hopefully not. 2 plus 2 from hand to make the call Nick. We'll heal 2 with the Pim particles. Nick will draw 3. 1, get a card. Or no, what am I talking about? I'm not playing Command Team if I'm playing Professor X. Unless, maybe a double would let me do that. Next 2 cards from Nick. Nick will thwart for 2 on Mother's Orders. Oh yeah, Nick's definitely right there because he draws me to my attack events faster as well. And do I keep anyone in hand? No. Gotta draw our attacks. Pay 3 for Professor, confuse, thwart for 3. So I don't think this can pop now, assuming we stay in hero form. So let's just attack with Wasp for 2 more. Try to end the game next turn. Only need like a single pinpoint strike or something. So end the turn. Make sure my phone hasn't stopped recording yet. There's a pinpoint strike. And a go all out. Alright, so tons of damage. Hope we don't die. 3 threat on the main scheme. Klaw attacks. Nick blocks. 2 plus 2 plus 0. Nick's out. Alright, 3 encounter cards for the game. Sonic Boom. Alright, really tricky, really tricky. So, attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pinpoint strike would make 8 after I flip the tiny form. So, I don't need to play Go All Out. And in fact, I still could even if I pay the 3 resources here. So I'm going to pay the 3. Mental, physical, energy. Immortal Klaw. That slows me down for sure. Now I have to thwart that. Can't find my 3s. 10 additional HP, up to 23. Gang Up is actually really great because we've got a Professor X block for 3 plus 2 plus 1. All right. I think I lost the win. which is too bad. For this turn, at least. And in fact, I can only really thwart. No, okay, this is fine. So we'll thwart the main scheme for 3. Flip to tiny form. Ant-Man thwarts Immortal Klaw for 3. Drops Klaw back down to 13. Then Helicarrier for Stinger. Clarity of Purpose, taking 1 down to 6. Plus 2 for Pinpoint Strike, 8 damage to Klaw, down to 5. Let's just hit him with Stinger, down to 4. End the turn. Three threat step 1. Klaw attacks, Stinger blocks. 3 + 1 + 2. 2 cards. Masters of Mayhem will get Melter. Beetlemania. I have to actually do it since. Okay. Masters of Mayhem gets Melter. Beetlemania surges into Armored Guard, but I think I have enough to fight through that. I'm kind of going fast because I'm worried about my phone. We've got Wasp attacks the tough off of Armored Guard, flips to Giant Form. Ant-Man attacks the Armored Guard for 3. Spider-Man gets plus attack and attacks Klaw for 4. All right, got it in there with still some phone storage, it would appear. Yeah, geez, I do not like playing Wasp. I mean, she does nothing interesting. The reshuffle is, okay, but then you got to shuffle your deck more, and that's like the most annoying part of the game. So very glad to be done with Wasp, maybe forever now that I've submitted a win with her for the challenge. Let me know if you caught any rules errors. Kind of a long game, so I'd be shocked if I didn't make any. I probably used Helicarrier on Make the Call at some point. That would be probably the main thing. But probably there was a way to spend resources differently where I could have spent the Helicarrier on something else. All right. Yeah, Klaw is pretty stressful with those low main scheme thresholds. High tempo start, which, Wasp for being a pretty weak character, especially having a weak turn 1. Wasn't able to set up much in those early turns, so we were really just scraping by. Slowly dropped our resource generators, and then by the end, we eventually were outpacing. So worked out by the end, but yeah, quite a grind with Wasp. So hope that was an interesting match to watch. Let me know if you caught any mistakes. And let's see here. What's my release schedule going to be? I still have several videos recorded in advance, so I don't know exactly what you're going to see. You're either going to see my Ant-Man rematch, since I made a critical rules error in that one, or we will be in the very climactic final stretch of the challenge as I prepare to take down Galaxy's Most Wanted. Last 5 scenarios there, saving them all for the end. Hope to run through them all at once. But I'll probably have to replay some of those, because they're very hard. Okie dokie. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.